going on, everyone? It's Nero again, and tape for you some Call of Duty Black Ops 2, playing some Domination this time on the map Cargo using the Remington R870. And for this game, it's a bit different. So this was roughly around the time I prestiged. This was during the time which my internet connection was being really bad. It's actually evened out a little bit. So there's a couple times throughout this gameplay you'll see me randomly just drop to a 1 bar, and I'm not sure why. It doesn't really affect me all too much, but I'm using the R870. This is right before I got gold. The R870 is the first gun I've gotten gold since I reset my stats, and as you can see, I'm stocked up on perks. I got lightweight, I got flak jacket, I got toughness, I got dexterity, I got extreme conditioning. I got basically everything that a good shotgun class would need, with the exception of any kind of attachments. Typically, I find that the R870 really benefits from long barrel, and it really benefits from the laser sight. But I don't have any of those because I have to do the challenge. I already did the challenge with no perks. Now I'm doing the challenge with no attachments. And I get pretty good gameplay with this. I play the crap out of the objective in this game, and I think you guys will enjoy it. But I wanted to make this video as kind of a follow-up to my previous video, which I posted 2 days ago. I didn't post yesterday. 2 days ago, I made a video talking about the horrible situation where a 13-year-old boy got grounded from Call of Duty because he had bad grades. This sent him into just like this furious rage where he tried to rape and followed by murdering his mother. And I kind of wanted to address some of the comments on that video. I couldn't believe this. I figured it's almost weird. It's almost like I live within my own little bubble here, with the way I was raised and the environment in which I live in. Like, so many people here on my channel are from different parts of the world, from all different kinds of walks of life, and you guys had different opinions on the subject compared to me. You guys were raised in different situations as compared to me, and I wanted to address some of it. So one of the biggest things, people from different countries all throughout the world, one of the general themes of the comments was, America is stupid, they should just ban guns. And I don't think that's really the case. I talk about it on Twitter a lot. I don't think banning guns would really do anything, especially in terms of like protection and just safety in general. If you look back at Prohibition, they banned alcohol. When was Prohibition? It escapes me. I haven't been in school in a while, but it was I'm gonna say around the 20s. They banned alcohol, and what did that do? That didn't stop people from using or selling or doing anything with alcohol. That just made alcohol a very illegal business, and there's a lot of illegal stuff going on, and it was actually a really bad thing. So I think like a universal just ban of guns does not make sense, and most people understand that, but there's a lot of comments of people that said, oh, they should just ban guns altogether. What people don't realize about guns, maybe it's just something I think because of the environment in which I was raised in here in Pennsylvania, but guns really aren't the problem. Crazy's the problem. Guns themselves are meant for 3 things: hunting, recreation, and protection. That's what they are intended for. And what other people do with them, there's nothing we can really do to control that. If you think a gun's a deadly weapon, well, so's a knife. So's a power tool. It really doesn't matter exactly what it could be. It's just that guns are dangerous, but you have to be careful around them. That's basically what it's for. Some people were saying, one of the most like themed comments I saw was like, well, why did this 11-year-old, well, he was 13 when he committed the crime, but he received his .22 rifle when he was 11. Why does this 11-year-old have a gun? And I'm sitting there thinking, like, I seen this comment a lot. I do read all the comments on my videos. I get a lot of personal messages. I may not go through all of them all the time necessarily, but I do read most of the comments on my videos. And that was a big theme in the comments. It's like, why does this young child even have a gun? Where I'm from, kids don't get guns, and for me, it's like, wow, this is like a normal thing. The kid lived in Iowa, and Iowa's gun laws and hunting laws are not all too different than Pennsylvania, where I live. The kid that committed this murder, he lived in Iowa, and when you live in Iowa, you could be anywhere from like 12 on up, and you can hunt without supervision as long as you have a license. So when and you have to pass hunter safety, but when they gave this kid a gun at 11, I'm assuming, okay, hey, here's your birthday present, here's your gun, and in 1 year, you'll be old enough to hunt, and you can use this gun. It's a .22 caliber gun. It's really a tiny rifle. What a .22 is good for is small game. If you have a .22 rifle, which is what the kid owned and what he killed his mother with, that's good for hunting like squirrels, rabbits, birds, coyotes, fox, pheasant. And a small game like that, it's not intended for like bigger game like deer or bear or stuff like that. It's not like you use a rifle like mine, like I own a 30-30. You use a rifle like that if you want to hunt like deer, wolves, or even bear if you really wanted to. And shotguns are basically used for like birds, turkey, quail, stuff like that. And that is why he had this gun. It's really not how the usual for people at a young age to own a gun, especially if you're raised around it. I've been raised around guns my entire life. Both sides of my family, my mom's side of the family, my dad's side of the family, everyone in there loves guns, with the exception of my mom. My mom hates guns. She does. She thinks they're dangerous, and she probably is in the same line of thinking as a lot of you, but she doesn't want them around. But she doesn't want them banned at the same time. And the reason she doesn't want them banned, even though she doesn't like guns, she's never shot a gun, she's like a lot of you, I would say. She just doesn't like guns, doesn't want to shoot them, doesn't want them around. But she wants people to be able to own them. Because she understands, as well as a lot of people understand, but maybe not all of you, that banning guns won't do anything besides make it so the only two kinds of people that have guns are law enforcement and criminals. And I mean, criminals, if they're going to go commit a crime, chances are that's not a legally obtained weapon. You know, most people, I mean, you can watch tons of videos about it on YouTube. This is the way I was raised as well, just the environment I was in. Guns aren't like this horrible murdering machine. I mean, they're capable of that if someone really wanted to do that, but that comes down to the person. What guns are intended for is, like I said earlier, they're basically there for protection, recreation, and hunting. I live in Pennsylvania. I've said this a couple times already. You know, it's just the way I was raised. We have tons of guns. I grew up in a house with, right down there in the dining room was a giant gun cabinet, which was always locked, and my dad always had the key on him. That's how it worked. Even if I wanted to open the gun cabinet, I couldn't. You know, if I want, back in the day when I was real young, I'm gonna say like 8 or 9, I had a pellet gun, or some people might call it a BB gun. It's pumped by air. It shoots it's almost like an airsoft gun, right? I had one of those, and if I wanted to go outside and shoot a can with it, that's basically what you do with those things. You just go shoot a can. Mine wasn't like a ridiculously powerful one by any means. I would have to wait for my dad to get home from work. You know, if I got back from school or whatever, I'd have to wait for my dad to come home from work, and I'd be like, "Hey, Dad, can I go shoot my pellet gun?" And then he would unlock it. He would give me a little box of BBs. I'd go outside with like a couple cans. I'd set the cans up, and I'd shoot them. And that's what it's for. It's like a recreational thing. I don't know, man. It's almost disheartening, because the people that seem to like want to ban gun laws or enforce more gun laws, or just ban guns in general, or just like up in arms about, you know, the safety of guns, I don't think those people were actually just raised around them. Because anyone like me who was raised around them, or you know, I don't know, somewhat in the area of guns, basically you don't think of them as these horrible, dangerous killing machines. You just think of the people that do use them as such, as just crazy people. You know, in the same regard, knives could be considered that. You know, like, oh, why does an 8-year-old have a hunting knife? You know, well, I mean, he hunts. I mean, if that kid wanted to kill his mom, chances are, you know, since he was like going to rape, this is going to get graphic, but in the story, the 13-year-old boy that tried to rape and then kill his mother, he tried to rape her before he killed her, and chances are he could have used anything. He really could. I mean, that may sound bad, but he could have used a hammer. You know, rifles, guns, shotguns, handguns, it's all really the same. I don't know, it just doesn't seem to matter to me. It comes down to guns aren't really that dangerous when you use them properly. If you don't use them properly, or they get in the hands of a crazy person, which is, like I said, I think crazy is the problem, then I think anything in that situation could be that. You know, you look at the Boston bombings. You know, apparently you can make these bombs from basically household things, right? That's just how this goes. And I don't know, I just want to make the video to kind of like let people know. It's definitely an informal video, but guns aren't the issue. Crazy's the issue. Guns have been around forever. They talked about it on Painkiller already, and this kind of goes back into a different story. Who remembers the Batman shooting, or what was it called, the Aurora shooting? Guy went in with like an AR-15 as well as a bunch of other guns, and there's a massacre at the Batman movie. If one person in that theater would have been concealed carrying, that massacre might not have happened. If one other person in there had a gun. That comes down to protection. Imagine if guns were banned during that Batman shooting. That criminal's going to get a gun regardless. The crazy guy's going to get a gun regardless. Then all the law-abiding citizens just trying to watch their movie, you know, they can't do anything about it because they're not allowed to own a gun and protect themselves. That's what partially the reason the guns are there for. They talked about on Painkiller already. There was an instance. It escapes me what exactly it was. It was essentially like a library, kind of like a public computer area where everyone can go there and use the computers and stuff. These guys came in and tried to rob the place. And they're sitting there pointing guns, which weren't even loaded. He found out later they weren't even loaded. They're pointing around guns. These were criminals. They're pointing around guns. And this old guy who was just sitting there using the computer gets up, pulls out his gun, and shoots them both. And that's a perfect example of why we need guns. But those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts about guns. I mean, the general theme, I mean, a lot of you, it's just general theme like, wow, this kid is nuts, which is the, line of thinking I go with. But a lot of you were like, oh, America shouldn't have guns. Here in my Canada, we don't have guns. Here in my country, we don't have people running around with guns at such a young age. My country this, my country that. America should do this. No. It's really, God was just crazy. That's how it goes. But hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Please leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. And hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Guy breaks into your house, but you don't have a gun. How are you going to shoot him?